Cyber Weekend is 1 week away. Yes, hello everybody. Welcome to a video doing my predictions for Cyber Weekend next week, and also some top tips and preparations when it comes to what the best unit offers, what we've seen in the past, those kind of things. Now, without any deviation, let's get right down to business. Back on July 4th, we saw some deals that were very different from Cyber Weekend. What do I mean by that? Well, Cyber Weekend 2020 didn't seem to represent the further shift of the game or the meta towards things like rank 4 champions. And do bear in mind, I will be kind of like focusing on Thronebreaker first, a little bit of Cavalier, and then just not really kind of scratching Uncollected, but I will be giving some tips on that. So where things have really shifted is, first of all, you can see July 4th deals, which are on screen right now. Shout out to Dan, Frontline MCC. Link to the amazing frontlinemcc.home.blog, which, you know, gives you all this info and more, is in the description. So first of all, 1,000 units opening up various different types of deals, which then opens up a 4,000, but then splits between being the Superior Nexus bundle and then there's the Superior Catalyst bundle. This is something that has gone in previous July 4th deals where they've branched off, but that was at the time that there wasn't a Thronebreaker deal, and how Cavalier was kind of like treated was very differently to how it is now. FYI, if you want to know how it's treated now, is you don't really get a huge amount of stuff. And if anybody did want to see the shifting trend, well, this was back in the 2020 Cyber Weekend, which represents things like 5 times tier 5 class Catalyst Fragment Crystals. This again is for Thronebreaker. And the same thing with offering things like rank up gems there, rank 1 to 2, so no, the rank 2 to rank 3. And in the lower ones, you were seeing things like 2,500 6-star hero crystal shards, which again, as we said, compare it with like how it is now under the current meta, you're seeing things like, well, a shift to see there is 5,000 6-star shards as opposed to the 2,500, and various different other things as well, which again point towards the current meta shift of kind of adding in things like rank 4 6 stars and more volume of things, because things move on with the game. But what didn't shift along with the game is stuff with Cavalier. So on screen right now, this is taken from bundles for those that are Cavalier, seeing things like, well, 15,000 tier 5 basic Catalyst Fragments. But let's face it, if you're a Cavalier player, your chase goal is to be Thronebreaker because of the things that you get to kind of get from the daily calendars, from the daily crystals, from a few different areas. It's not like a massive jump up to say you get loads of freebies or a lot more freebies. It's just a case of like, well, things open up, lower value when it comes to Cavalier crystals, and a few other things as well, depending on where you are, your progression. Yes, there are some things that are available, but at the same time, you may feel that's just the chase. Well, the point we're getting to is the chase goal for you as a Cavalier player to be Thronebreaker and getting a rank 3 6-star. Now, looking at this, what is on offer from the past? Well, this is the problem right here, and that is 1 times 10% tier 5 class Catalyst Fragment Crystal for 4,000 units, and the same thing being with the step up to the 10,000 units, which is a 1 times tier 5 class Catalyst Fragment Crystal. So there is that, plus there is a 1 times 20% tier 5 class Catalyst Fragment Selector, which is good if you are a Cavalier player, but you do have to kind of like, first of all, invest, I think it's 15,000 units in order to get an allocation to that. So there's a lot of spend as a Cavalier player to get that particular option to at least stand a chance of kind of like becoming Thronebreaker or getting that first tier 3 6-star champion. Let's now take this video over to comparisons. Now, we sort of compared things a moment ago, but I want to be more kind of clear on that comparison, especially with what's on screen right now. Looking at the various unit packs from July 4th Thronebreaker deals 2021 against the Cyber Weekend Thronebreaker 2020. Now, it seems to be that we're going in a split. Just to kind of give you a bit of clarity on the split. Back in 2020, I think it was just before Thronebreaker title was released, we had this point of going, there was loads of July 4th deals. This meant that what it did was it satisfied those that were Cavalier top end that were looking to get more rank 3 6-stars and also expand their 6-star roster. And that was the split there. Also the lower end of Cavalier, which is all about acquiring more of those 5-star champions on a various different coverage of abilities to take on various different bits of content. And that's the thing. It then split off, and we then had Thronebreaker, and then we had Cavalier. This is the second split. The second split is all about satisfying those that are just about to do AQ Map 8. I've done all of the content. I've started chasing things when it comes to Tier 3 Alphas and Tier 6 basic fragments. And yeah, just like at a tippity top of the game. And that's the thing. That is what you saw back in July 4th with the 10,000 units Superior Catalyst bundle right there and the 10,000 Superior Nexus bundle. One was all about acquiring new 6 stars and as well adding in things like rank up gems, which again helps out something that I personally think Kabam have failed at in adding into these deals, which is more Tier 5 class Catalyst fragment, either crystals or selectors. The volume's just not there, and it's ridiculous because we're meant to be at Thronebreaker trying to increase the volume of Tier 6 champions that we have in our rosters. And as I said, the other split side of things is those at the top end. Yes, you could say that there is Tier 6 basic fragments in the lower bundles, and that needs to be done, especially if you're looking at the fact that you need to be working towards this split and saying to yourself at lower end Thronebreaker that when I get to a certain point, I need to be having a rank 4 6-star. And that's going to be important for more of a long-term investment, because there's short-term investment in your own account, and then there's going to be long-term investment that looks at slowly acquiring little bits of the most premium resource, which is Tier 6 basic fragments and Tier 3 alpha fragments. This indeed is in stark contrast to what's available in Cyber Weekend for Thronebreakers in 2020, especially because they've got things like Tier 5 basic fragments in a lower volume, but you know, at the end of the day, you need full ones. This is why in 2021 you saw, for those at Thronebreaker, 3 Tier 5 basic catalysts on offer, especially when you went to like 4,000 units. I mean, you compare that with how it was in 2020, where there's only one available. There's definitely seen a big push to kind of add more resources in, and especially with the Glory Store. But in any case, like, comparison's over, and you know, the Cavalier side of things and the Uncollected side of things, we'll be going like, you know, what I predict for you, which is not going to be positive, because a lot of the time Kabam really don't help out quite so much with that, and they probably want you to push more in content to kind of grab the chase resources for your different types of progressions. So what are my predictions? Well, predictions wise, I do feel, and you might be wondering, Rich, why haven't you ranked up any of your 6 stars? You've got the ability to do 5, 6, 7, 8. It's just that I've got a big opening coming up, and it kind of, you know, there's 26 stars that could be brought into my roster, so it kind of makes more sense to hold on to them and then kind of go, right, well, this is what I'm going to rank up, and then over the coming months, then massively rank up, and especially kind of see what's on offer for Cyber Weekend. There may be some stuff on offer that maybe is better for me to rank up champions. But in any case, I digress. I don't think Kabam for Thronebreaker initially are going to be targeting any high volume of Tier 3 class catalyst. I just don't think that's going to be the case. They have a very bad track record of putting in selectors, especially over the last year. Yes, there may have been specific unit deals, but when it comes to things like Cyber Weekend, it's more the case of going like, okay, well, do they put them out in big chunks? Not so much. If I was to expect anything, it would be in the spending deals. You'll start seeing the more premium items like Tier 3 Alpha, Tier 6 Basic, and as well things like more higher volumes of the Tier 5 class Catalyst, which is kind of like unfair, but they have done it. I'm not going to say that they will or won't, it's just they have this track record. And with that track record, I do think, as I said, like the premium chase item for the top end of Thronebreaker is indeed the Tier 6 Basic Fragments and Tier 3 Alpha Fragments, which I think you're going to see a lower quantity in the unit offers, but then Kabam could switch it a little bit and go like, okay, well, we're going to put a lot more in there, especially considering the fact that if people are spending money, and that's just a big thing, with the last year that Kabam have had, I do feel they're going to put more emphasis on spending as opposed to the kind of the unit offers, or have them as a kind of a extension of that. So by spending money, oh, that person's got no units now, oh, they've got a load of units, or what they should do with it is at the end stuff like the 10,000 units and the ending 6-star awakening gem offer at the end is kind of like put more emphasis to spend towards there to encourage you to grab those kind of items. That's what I kind of feel they might go down the route of. And as well with Tier 5 class Catalyst, it's problematic if they don't put in like a huge amount of them. And I would say when it comes to like top tips for those that are Thronebreaker is indeed, if you're new, I think if you're top end of Thronebreaker, you won't need any tips. You'll know what you're doing with your roster. But if you're new to Thronebreaker coming into these Cyber Weekend deals, you need to be looking into increasing your 6-star 6-star champion acquisition, so going that way. And it may be a case you target things like 6-star featured champions. So it may be a case if there's something in the unit bundle, you may want to focus on that. Also, you may be wanting to kind of rank up some of those champions and look to where there's tier 5 class catalyst. If there's some in the unit offers, go for it if you've got the units. If you don't have the units, then you may want to consider waiting for the gifting event coming up, especially with greater gifting crystals. Having a chance to get a high volume of things could mean that spending 10,000 units in a different location, like versus Cyber Weekend, it may be better for you. It may not be, and those are the things you have to kind of like consider. If you're chasing a certain champion, if you're chasing a certain item, then you may want to kind of go down that route as well. It's up to you. This is your roster. You develop it how you want to. But make sure to look over your glory store, and that's the top tip for a lot of these different progressions is look over your glory store, look over various different stores that you've got in the game, and also open up all your AQ crystals if you haven't as well. Make sure that you've done that prior to Cyber Weekend to kind of know what you're playing with, and as well follow processes. We did this process before, which just said like, okay, we'll know your increments of what you've got with tier 5 class catalyst, and as well your tier 4 class catalyst as well. So basically know your percentages. It's like if you go, okay, well 10% of 36,000 is going to be 3,600. God, maths then. 10% of 45,000 is 4,500. If it's 20%, then that's times 2. So you kind of go like, okay, that's 9,000 right there. Just these kind of like little kind of things. Just know your percentages when it comes to this stuff, and then you can then go and go, okay, well, I'm 20,000 off forming a tier 5 class catalyst, a tier 4 class catalyst. So therefore you kind of like, how to kind of like prepare for going, if I get this and it's a selector, I can then choose for this. But they do quite handily put on those selectors how much the volume is left. So it's all well and good. When it comes to Cavalier, as you know, your chase item is going to be your tier 5 class catalyst, of course, and same principle really applies to what we just said back then. If you are not seeing any huge volume of tier 5 class catalyst, then go a different route and look to expand your 5 stars. If you've got variants to do, if you've got other content to do, it means that you can start getting 6-star shards. You can start gaining things like 6-star crystals, more 5 stars, more higher rank champions, rank 5 stars, and go and tackle that content and use this as a kind of like a point to kind of like make those gains. As I said, check your glory store, buy some stuff, and think about your gifting event as well, and whether or not there would be more advantageous. And I'll probably do a video next week when the deals drop, and do like should you save for. I'll try and do it on Friday of next week when the deals drop. It may be Saturday. I can't really guarantee it. And kind of go like, don't spend on maybe compare with gifting. So I'll try and do that as well. And the final thing being uncollected. With uncollected, your deals aren't going to be absolutely amazing. Your point of reference is your 5-star acquisition, ranking up more 5 stars, creating more rank 5 stars, and going down that route to acquire better champions, to do content, and clear it. Look for dual class crystals if you can do them, and I'm not 100% sure if you get them as uncollected, but yeah, look towards that. And as well, look towards the gifting event, because at the end of the day, I think the greater gifting crystals are everybody gets them, so you might be able to make some real gains by just getting greater gifting crystals, and make better gains than it would be with Cyber Weekend. As I said, I'm going to try and put a video out about that next week. But yeah, my predictions are you're not going to get a huge amount of uncollected when it comes to 6 stars. Not so much a good amount when it comes to Cavalier, but not a huge amount. But yeah, good luck everybody next week. That's been my predictions, my top tips when it comes to it. And yeah, 1 week away. Good luck. Oh, and also make sure to check out some other content located on screen right now. Hope you have a good day, whatever you're doing. And make sure to tune in on Saturday for the big crystal opening. It's going to be a spicy one. Be there.